Excited to announce finalist number 3 for you all. As AI agents move from simple chatbots to autonomous systems acting at scale, new security threats are emerging that traditional cybersecurity tooling cannot see. Founded by cybersecurity veterans from early MDR leader Palladian, Ackuity is building the security fabric for Agentic AI. Please join me in welcoming co-founder and CEO Rajat Mohanty from Ackuity.
Thank you, Andy, and good afternoon, everybody. In cybersecurity world, for long we have said humans are the weakest link, but that's about to change. AI agents will become a bigger insider threat, and we'll need to monitor them. My co-founder Vinod and I have over 17 years of experience doing cybersecurity monitoring. We started Palladian, which was one of the earliest managed detection and response company. Way back in 2015, when Gartner came up with the first report on MDR, there were only 7 vendors, including us. We were also one of the early exit in MDR market, when in 2020, Atos acquired us. Over the years, our platform has been used by 1,000+ customers, large enterprises, mid-market, government systems. A bit of brag here. In Paris Olympics, the security monitoring was done on our platform. We have around 11 patents on AI and cyber. In fact, if you Google up some fundamental patents on user behavior anomaly or malware beaconing, you'll see our names, just because we were there too early and filed it long back. With that experience, we are building Ackuity for the new frontier, security monitoring of AI agents. We began by looking at the current market. Today, companies use AI firewall or prompt guardrail. They sit between user and LLM and look at things like data leakage or jailbreak or prompt injection. But here is the problem. AI agents are not just chatbots. They will not only answer your questions, but they'll also act. They will act on your databases, on your applications, on your documents. And while acting, they will also talk to other agents. And they'll go through an intermediate layer where things like MCP servers, tools, or RAG systems will sit. And these agents will come in a variety of shapes. Low-code, SaaS agents, third-party agents, or custom agents. In this scenario, the attacks are not only on the user and LLM layer, but the risk exists at every layer. Attacker could poison the backend. They could manipulate the tools in between, or they could manipulate the agents, or sometimes the agents can go rogue or get misaligned. I think the Anthropic paper showed how a misaligned agent can start blackmailing a user. And these threats are happening in real. The Replit database agent went rogue and deleted the production database. We had equally kind of attacks where attackers are poisoning the backend by sending emails. Or the Amazon attack where the attacker is poisoning the tooling layer, inserting code, which deletes the entire cloud resources. What we realized is the monitoring has to evolve to match the complexity of the system. It's no longer sufficient to look at the traffic between user and LLM. What we need is a visibility across the layer and deep inside what's happening in agents and tools, and methods to detect variety of these attacks. And that's why we started building Ackuity. It's a full-stack security observability platform for autonomous agents to detect threats and respond to them, as well as for policy violations. We are trying to build a platform that will centrally manage agents at scale in real time. When customers deploy our platform, they get to do these 5 things. You can detect rogue agents. You can detect threats that I talked about. But also you can detect policy violations. Every enterprise enforces policies on their people and tasks. Things like who can do what, business rules like limits and authorizations, and so on. With humans, we trust. And we do only exception reporting at end of the quarter or look for big red flags. Not so with AI agents. We'll need to monitor every action and every task of AI agents and look for policy compliance. Ackuity platform helps doing that. And once you detect any of these things, you can take action and quickly contain them using our platform before the threats escalate. Or you can go back in time and investigate, because we are a security observability platform. You can look at what else the user did, what else the agent did. And how are we doing that? We begin by first getting a full visibility. We connect into the agentic layer to look at not only the user prompts and response, but also the planning, the reasoning, the chain of thoughts, the instruction hierarchies, and so on. And then we triangulate that with context information from other layers, the tools, the end systems, the users. Again, Jason talked about in his session earlier that you not only need to know who the agent is, but who the user who asked this agent to do something. And also if there are intermediate agents, what's the chain of authority there? Those are the kind of context information we pick up to match with the agentic information. Once that information comes in, we have our orchestration agent which understands this data and reasons out what detection to call for and when. And we have three primary main detection methods. We use LLM for semantic detection to look at things like intent breaking or goal manipulation. We deploy rule engine for more deterministic detection, things like is the agent sending a bad command or violating an access policy. And in between, we have the behavioral detection model, which looks at things like why is this agent doing this task right now when it has never done it so far in past. A complex attack will need all these detections to come together. And that's where we have a decision agent which looks at output of all this detection, tries to correlate them, triage them, and then decides, should we send it for a containment or do we need a human in the loop? We released the first version of this product 3 months back, and we are doing active pilots with customers right now. Some direct customers, as well as we are working with some channel partners where pilots are going on, global system integrators. Some of the names are here. Our pricing is quite simple. We are using a metric that the security monitoring industry is quite familiar with. It's the number of items being monitored, agents, users, and end systems. Whichever way we look at it, the market is huge. Today, there are more than 25,000 companies who do in-house security monitoring of their IT systems using things like SIEM, SOAR, XDR. As they roll out agents, they will need to add Ackuity for agentic monitoring. Outside of this, there are 60,000 companies who use MDRs and MSSPs for their security monitoring. As they roll out agent, they'll demand agentic monitoring from their providers. Right now, we are focused on large enterprises, especially in financial sector and healthcare, who have in-house security monitoring team and in-house security tools. In this market, Ackuity is uniquely positioned to win. Customers care about two things in monitoring: the visibility, do you see everything? And detection, can you detect complex multi-layered threats? We are uniquely positioned in the sense we have deep visibility and a breadth of detection, enabled by our architecture that I talked about and the detection methods that we use. Where are we going from here? In future, every large enterprise, every mid-market will have autonomous agents talking amongst themselves. And even between two enterprises, be it suppliers, service providers, or partners, there'll be agents talking to agents. In that era, we see Ackuity as the all-pervasive security fabric in which these agents interact, a fabric that continuously verifies and monitors every agentic action, similar to all-pervasive space-time fabric, which governs how all the bodies move. Thank you. Thanks for listening to me. I'll call upon my co-founder, Vinod, to join me.
Nice presentation. Definitely a very AGI forward pitch. So thank you for that. I guess it seems to me that the product that you're offering is somewhat adjacent to UBA for user behavioral analysis for like 5 or 6 years ago, but this time it's agents instead of users. I'm kind of curious why you haven't included human insider threat in the pitch alongside the agent insider threat.
Yeah, so one is we are trying to look at the entire cycle of a transaction. It begins with a user asking an agent to do something, and we want to know who the user is, what the location, what the permissions, what the roles are, so that when we see later on down the line interaction happening, say at the end with the database, we can correlate back whether the user had all the permissions that are needed here. So that's why I added the user piece also. We are not trying to replace a UBA in the market because that's an old SIM investment that people have already done. It will be very difficult to go and tell that, remove your UBA. But we are trying to focus when an agent comes in, end-to-end visibility, and are there any issues with the user trying to manipulate their roles and their permission through the agent.
So I might have missed it. I didn't see a UI, right? I didn't see. Did you have a UI UX that you showed up on the screen?
No.
Okay. I normally love to see that, so would love to check it out. I think I checked a little bit out on your website before I came. Question on that though. Big deal in SOCs, right? Alert fatigue. It looks like you guys are like the new AI DLP, right? You're checking out everything, and DLP alerts are a huge problem for all security teams. In fact, they typically ignore a lot of them and focused on actual detections that are happening. So I guess my question for you is, how are you going to reduce alert to fatigue and not create another problem for my security team that they have to monitor? Right. What are your integrations? I didn't see exactly what agents you're monitoring. And obviously, across when I was running security for the whole state of Maryland, I had 70,000 users all using tons of stuff. They have browser extensions, they're in ChatGPT, they're putting procurement documents in, they're constantly pulling in and out data. How are you going to reduce the noise of all of that activity across a huge enterprise?
Right. Yeah. So the first one means we have a booth there. We have a demo. So we'll be happy if you could visit us and see the product and give us some feedback there. Second is in terms of the second question, you said there are so many different types of agents that will come up, from individual low-code agent, personal agent, all the way to big agents built with mesh kind of thing. How do we detect all of them? Right now, we have started the journey. We do things which are built on LangChain, Microsoft Copilot, Studio, Foundry. We do things on Glean, kind of third-party product, ServiceNow kind of thing. So to give a short answer, it will take time to build all of that. But we had done that in our previous monitoring platform. By the time we sold it, we had close to 700 plus integrations for that platform. So it's not a technology problem, it's a time problem. You just have to keep doing that again and again. The last one is a technology problem because we had faced that issue for almost 17 years. You create tons of alerts, and what do you do with that? And we have been running SOC, so we know. So this time we are trying to do something in terms of bringing in an agent, the decision agent and all, work in progress. I would say we know lots of battle scar about you take a decision saying this alert is not important, forget it, and after a month it comes back to bite you. So it's a work in progress. We are trying to put all that intelligence in the decision agent, but that's how, unless you want to add something.
I think, yeah, that's fine. I think most of it is covered. So the triaging part, which is today in the industry, a lot more static kind of triaging that's happening. So we are trying to make that more dynamic using the decision agent. So that should bring the alert fatigue down. But like you said, it's a common problem with any tech in the security monitoring space, but it's a consistent battle. We are trying to reduce that.
So what's your ICP? Who are you selling this to?
Yeah, so right now, what we have learned is the agents that are getting rolled out are mostly in large enterprises, or it's in the sophisticated mid-tech companies. That's an additional thing. So we are right now focused on large enterprises. That's where our personal experience is more working in the past. So in financial sector and healthcare, the security operations team and the CISO is our target here. There has been some learning when we went to all these places pitching. Means even before we started building product, we have talked to close to 40, 45 plus old CISOs that were working with us previously. The security team doesn't understand too much about agents and AI right now. And they immediately tell us to go and talk to the AI team. The AI team doesn't understand security. And we had a debate, should we position it to AI team and try to sell it there because everybody is telling go there. But then we realized that over a period of time, security will be mandated to do this. So we would rather teach little bit of AI to our security people right now while selling and stay there, because down the line, the purse is going to be with them. So that's our ICP and persona.
Have you tried to actually sell into that persona yet?
So some of these pilots that we are running, like we are running with one of the large bank, it's a $300 billion bank, asset bank. So there it's the security team and CISO. There's a healthcare, the two names that I showed. The other one is a healthcare. It's again a CISO. There are a few more lined up right now. Some of the larger guys here, Siemens and all. It's all to CISO right now. We went initially to AI teams and AI governance, and sometimes there is this AI risk management. But then we thought the purse is finally going to be the CISO down the line. So let's stay here.
So does the CISO have budget to drive the adoption of this throughout the enterprise, or does somebody else, is he taxing other people's budget?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because what we have seen is budgets are very fluid right now. Whoever claims it gets it kind of thing, saying that AI projects are going on. So sometimes the budget goes to the AI governance team kind of thing, AI steering committee, security team. But what we realized in that, means we had a conversation with two customers there. First, the governance team, it goes, then immediately the governance team says, where is the security? Where is CISO? Bring the CISO into it, and then mandate the CISO to do that. So it's still fluid, but we believe it will go more and more to CISO.
Thank you.
And why the focus on the larger enterprises as opposed to smaller and medium? Is it budget or lack of sophistication to recognize the threat?
Yeah, so what has happened is, there is a lot of talk about agents, but they are all in pilots. Only the large guys are now slowly starting to take it out. The low-code agent like, not the low-code, the SaaS agent like Microsoft Copilot and 365 Studio, that's getting rolled out quite a lot in these large enterprises, because we know Microsoft can do a good selling. So no offense there, but large enterprises are rolling out agents right now, at least. The mid-market, we haven't seen them rolling it out in production. And we become relevant only in production because we are a real-time security monitoring team.
And what is your price point?
So on an average, it will begin roughly around $35,000 ACV kind of thing. If you have 4 to 5 agents and 200 plus users working with that 4 to 5 agents, begins at $35K ACV. Then it grows as we go up. Like one of the pilot that I talked about, the bank, they're budgeting it for $150K for next year as ACV for our platform. And it's based on number of agents, number of tools, and number of users. Hopefully, when you have 20,000 users, 200 agents, the number grows. Thank you so much.